What's up, everyone, and welcome back to HBCU Game Day. I am Symone Stanley, and today we have a very special guest. We have North Carolina Central Eagles quarterback Davius Richard, one of the hottest quarterback prospects in the 2024 NFL Draft, joining us for a great conversation. Davius, thank you so much for the time.
No, I appreciate the opportunity. Looking forward to the conversation for real.
So it's March. We're almost 1 month away from the NFL draft. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. I'm really excited. Just been my first time through this process, even before towards the end of the season. I know a couple guys that went through the process, so I was anxious with questions, but it's just been a whole different view as far as just going through it myself. So I've been really excited throughout the whole process.
What is a typical day in the life like for you?
Usually my heaviest days, I wake up around 5:45, get up, brush my teeth, brush my teeth and things like that, get ready. Try to leave the house before 6, get to the facility, eat breakfast. I was training in Nashville, Tennessee at X3. So get at the facility around about 6:15, eat breakfast. And usually the warm-ups and things like that start at 6:45. And then we'll be at the facility from 6:45 to the latest around 12:30. So in between that, just a whole lot of work. Like I said, the first 15, 20 minutes, just warm up as far as just getting your body ready for the workout coming ahead. And then depending on the day, we'll do some drill work, whether that's the 40-day, the 5-10-5, the L drill. And then after that, we'll transition over to the lift part of the day. So we'll get our lift in. Once that's done, around 11:30, 12 o'clock, I'll eat lunch, chill with the guys a little bit, conversate, go home, and take a nap. I try to take a nap every day is critical. So around 12 to 1 or 1 to 2, I take my nap, get back up, get a little snack if I'm a little hungry, then just hop on some schoolwork because I'm still in my degree, still in school right now. So I get on, do some work. And then usually later part of the day, around 5, maybe 4:30 is kind of just the more mental part of the day. So whether that be media training or just film work, watching football, the things of that nature. And then I had the rest of the day to myself to do what I want, then just repeat the next day.
What's your favorite part of the day?
My favorite part is probably the working out part, just the speed stuff, and then just being around a lot of guys that I was training with. So at first, when I first got there, I was kind of just trying to feel the guys, because they already been there maybe a week or so, because I had to go to the Hula Bowl, so I had missed the first week. So once I got there, I kind of had to fill it out. And then once I got comfortable and we all got comfortable with each other, we started opening up. And then after that, it made everything just smooth sailing. All the hard work that we put in it felt easy, because the guys that I was around, a lot of those guys was like-minded guys. So all of them hard working. So at the end of the day, we was gonna get our work, but when it was time to take a break or whatever, you kind of enjoy that moment, savor those times.
Has there been any surprise when it comes to the pre-draft process? Anything that you weren't expecting?
I would say more the mental side. I kind of expected the work as far as working out and technique and things of that nature, just playing football all my life. But I didn't realize how much mental part of it, as far as just the pertaining to pro day and draft training, that things. I ain't knew how much mental part it was, as far as making sure you saying the right things, you explaining things in details. Me being a quarterback, I always been fun as far as knowing defensive fronts, knowing how to explain my play, and knowing how to explain what the defense is doing. But it's kind of those in between interviews, as far as when the scouts want to get to know you and how to convey your story. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that creates your story. You've been through your story, so you got to know how to correctly portray that story, and knowing how to portray things and making sure that you're giving them as much details as possible, as far as pertaining your background, from where you grew up at, where you went to high school, how college was, what was your biggest transition, your biggest the biggest struggle you had to overcome. So it's just a lot of those things that was kind of more surprising to me.
And you had a couple of interviews at the Hulu Bowl, specifically with some NFL draft scouts. Were there any interviews or conversations with scouts that stuck out the most to you?
Honestly, I had a real great connection with a lot of those guys. Some of them stopped by the facility throughout the season, doing their due diligence. So I kind of knew some of those guys coming in. But even some of the new one, they was just like intriguing as far as the questions they was asking, because you don't expect nobody to ask the questions like you expected to come there talk about ball. Oh, what's your favorite third and five play? Things of that nature. But they asking you like real detailed questions as far as like want to know how you come up. Like, all right, who you grew up with? Who was your mentor? Like, did you have a father figure? Or who did you hang around with? Who was your best friends? Tell me, how were you around campus as far as outside of facility? Like, how did you interact with support staff around campus? That's such as far as the janitors, the cafeteria people, and things of that nature. So a lot of those questions was kind of like a surprise to me, knowing like they really want to know what kind of guy they're getting into the organization. But I understand because it plays a big part, because you're bringing in new guys and you want those guys to fit into that team like almost seamlessly. Because at that point, once you get the training camp or once you get on the team, you're going. So I understand like why they're so detailed as far as wanting to know what your background was.
Was there any like surprise question that stuck out to you the most? You don't have to say what team it was.
I would say, if I can think, I will say maybe the one of the most surprising was kind of all the scouts was asking like just a pretty generic question, but like, what's your status? Like, do you got a girlfriend? Are you single? Things of that nature. So it's like, I'm like, why you asking me that? I'm thinking we come here to play ball. You want to know like who my mom is, like how I grew up and things of that nature. But they asking me like stuff of that nature, like questions like that. But it all makes sense, because like if that team take a chance on you, they're really investing in you. So just outside of just you, they're really taking on your whole family. Because some people, it been instances as far as like people, parents on social media talking crazy, or they having drama and stuff outside the field. So they want to know, make sure they got things of that nature like ahead of time, so they know how to deal with them. Make sure it's not no red flags. Or even if like you know how some people might be a father and things of that nature. So they got to plan ahead. If we plan on taking this guy and moving him all the way to like across the United States, you on the East Coast, they plan on taking you to the West Coast. All right, maybe you want your kids with you, you want your wife with you, so things of that nature.
They could get somebody in trouble with that. Do you got a girlfriend question?
I'm telling you. So you got to make sure you're on point before you get there.
Right, you have to get your status all the way confirmed and figured out before you get caught up. So it has been reported that the Eagles have shown a lot of interest in you during the season, coming to a few of your practices, and then you had a conversation with the team at the Hula Bowl, and you've also drawn a lot of comparisons to Jalen Hurts. Could you see yourself joining that quarterback room?
Of course, especially if they really feel comfortable and confident in me and they want me a part of that room, I have no problem joining it. I think my biggest positive, I feel like I can kind of mesh into any quarterback room, no matter what kind of system they have or the type of players they have. I feel like I mesh well no matter the circumstances. But as far as pertaining to those, to the Eagles and things of that nature, like you said, they've been around the facility a couple of times. I talked to them at the Hula Bowl and the Legacy Bowl. So me being a dual threat and them already having a dual threat quarterback, so of course they're gonna kind of look for those characteristics, so they can bring in that type of guy and have that transition. Be like, all right, he already has kind of the characteristic of the quarterback that we got. We'd had a lot of success with the quarterback, so we're gonna try to keep that same mold. So I'm kind of not surprised about it, but yeah, I'm definitely excited.
Do you see similarities between yourself and Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, most definitely. I think one of the most important things is him as a leader. I can see myself in the same position as far as like his leadership and his passion for football, just like the emotions and things of that nature. As far as like he shows throughout the game, like I'm known for like having the cool, calm, and collective vibes, but I can still feel the emotion. I just don't portray them as much because it's like at the end of the day, it's all mental as far as the game. But as far as what he does on the field, as far as him being able to pass within the pocket, within a system, going through his reads, I establish and showcase those same skills. Him being able to extend players outside the pocket as far as rolling out, throwing on the run. You watch my film, you're going to see that. And then him being a threat with his legs as far as the run game, just adding that extra hat within the run game. Of course, you can see that in my film. So I see a lot of similarities.
Who are some other quarterbacks that you like to watch and learn from?
I like to watch a wider range of quarterbacks because I feel like I always come with a learning mindset, no matter the circumstance, where school, playbooks, things of that nature. So I try to watch a lot and try to see what I can take from their game and implement into mine. So, but just to name a few off the top, I love Patrick Mahomes as far as his mentality, how he is on the field, watching the Netflix series Quarterback, and then just like his playmaking ability. Not known as the fastest guy in the league, but he's just gonna make any and every pass he can, like in all type of angles. And I try to implement that into my game. Or even just like I already kind of mentioned Jalen Hurts or even Lamar, as far as how shifty he is in the running game and his versatility. And then even from when he entered the league to now, he's kind of be that transition to still being a running threat, but a more safer running threat, and then being able to sit in the pocket and develop over those years. So that as far as that development piece, I kind of try to see that. And then of course you can't name quarterbacks without mentioning Tom Brady. Like that's the pinnacle of a quarterback. So just him and his mentality, I think that's the biggest thing I kind of take away from Tom Brady. His mentality and mechanics and just his aura in the pocket and how he works the pocket and how he manages the game, being able to get his team into the right situations. Because I've just watched an interview about it. He was saying one of the biggest thing is that separated him, that he wasn't out there playing checkers, he was out there playing chess. And he felt like that the offensive coordinator is basically playing chess too. And all that break down to is like the offensive coordinator, they kind of game plan, break down film. All right, we know the tendency of this team. So just say 3rd and 5, we know they like to go man coverage. So I'm gonna build my play sheet. We're gonna go basically all man coverage beaters. Soon as he call the play, all right, he give it to Brady. All right, we're gonna call mesh, get man coverage, raw routes, and things of that nature. But once you get on the field, if you playing checkers, you just gonna, all right, I expect them to be in man coverage. I'm just gonna say height and then just go through the read. But by playing chess, you kind of know, all right, it's just a tendency. It's not 100% that they're going to be in man coverage. So you still got to go out there and make your pre-snap reads. Look at safeties. Is 1 or 2 high safety? If it's 1 high, all right, they can either be in cover 3, they can be in cover 1, or they can try to be rolling the safeties. If it's 2 high, like, all right, cover 2, maybe 2 man, maybe 4. So it's kind of like you still got to put those pieces together. So going out there with a man concept in your mind, but you come out there and see they playing zone and knowing that that's mesh concept might not work because you got routes running to the zone. So then at that point, you got to play chess and be like, all right, we kind of talked about this in the meeting. They come out in something that we were not expecting. We're going to have this on our back plate to change the play. So seeing those indicators and being able to get your offense into that right situation. So I really like watching Brady as far as that.
So you're definitely a student of the game.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like I said, I like to learn. I always try to make sure I'm always confident as far as coming into the game, as far as what the defense is doing.
Let's play a game called Build the Ultimate Quarterback, especially since you are someone who watches, obviously studies and learns from a lot of different quarterbacks. So arm strength, who do you think, and we can do just NFL quarterbacks,
all right,
past or present, arm strength, who would you take?
Soon I think about arm strength, I'm going, it's kind of hard. I'm going to go present. I'm going to say Josh Allen, but I also want to say Vic because played with the Eagles. I think it was the first player to drive for real. That
70-yard bomb.
Yeah, so
Deshaun Jackson.
So I'm gonna go Josh Allen right just off the bat.
You had me thinking you were gonna take Vic. You set up all that for Vic, and then I'm gonna go Josh Allen. Okay, that's fine. Accuracy.
Plays Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. I'm going Drew Brees.
Okay, so we got Josh Allen, Drew Brees, a little present and past, rushing ability.
I feel like more. I'll say Lamar. I would say Vic. I just like Lamar more because he's more of the shifty type. Or see, it's tough. I could throw Cam in there too. I'm just say Lamar because he's more the shifty type. And he can. That kind of adds a little bit more versatility, but it's real hard. I'm just say Lamar though.
Okay. Toughness.
Cam.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Size. I guess this can mean just like build.
Yeah. Build. All right. That's you either going Cam or Justin Herbert. I'm gonna go. I've seen Cam without a shirt, so I'm gonna go Cam. I see how he get there. I'm gonna go Cam off the bat.
Especially after that fight, like gotta go Cam with toughness. Leadership or mindset?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Mahomes. I done seen, like I said, the Netflix quarterback. I seen kind of like the behind the scenes or the mic'd up of the Super Bowls and things of that nature. And I just see how he moves and how he trash talks and how he's picking up his teammates. I'm going Pat.
What about footwork?
Footwork. I'm gonna go Brady because I already used Breeze. I'm gonna go Brady.
Okay. I like it. I like it. A couple of guys I definitely agree on. Feel like we could have got a little, midnight green in there, but you
Nah,
teased it a little bit, but you couldn't give us nothing. We
still,
couldn't get Russian.
still,
We couldn't get
I'm still kind of learning the past quarterbacks. I'm still like a little light on that situation. So I couldn't
you
come out
was
just
like
point out.
trying to give Vic a spot and then you kept snatching it back.
It's tough because you can go so many ways with this.
So when it comes to Davius, what part of your game do you think jumps out the most when you're on the field?
On the field, it's gonna come down to one word: versatility. I kind of touched on it earlier. As far as just like what I bring to the quarterback position, or what I bring to offense, and just in general, being that dual threat. So, like I said, uh, some games you're gonna come in knowing like, all right, we can pass the ball better versus this team, or we can run the ball better versus this team. And I feel like I can kind of bring both of that to the table. As far as, excuse me, as far as being in the pocket and going through reads, so we know, all right, we can get a lot of passes off. They kind of shake in as far as their coverages or whatever they run. So we're gonna be a little pass heavy. That's cool because I feel like I know I can do that as far as sitting in the pocket, going through reads and things of that nature. But if it's like more of a run heavy, all right, we feel like our O-line can kind of take down the D-line, get them off create a new line of scrimmage. All right, so if it's just the running back, good. But I also add that too, as far as adding extra blockers if they want to run the quarterback. Or we go on read options because sometimes the defensive ends, they like to crash. So we can get our 5 to block this 5, but they keep 6 in the box. Cool, we're going to do a read option, lead the defensive end free, and we're going to take care of that 6th defender by that. So I feel like that's one of the biggest things I bring on the field wise to my game.
What part of your game do you think is underrated?
I would say my passing aspect, because just being like throughout my years of Centrals, I always dual heavy, but I feel like it's not really that underrated. But at the same time, they always great athlete running this and that X, Y, and Z. But I feel like my passing aspect has made a huge jump throughout my college career and just on this continued rise for real. So I would say that, or yeah, that's it.
Do you think that's the case for most dual threat quarterbacks? And I feel like a lot of them are always like reduced to just getting hype around their legs.
I can't really speak to each his own, but I feel like you're not going to get into the quarterback because you know how to run the ball. You obviously got in the quarterback because the coach and the team believes you as a passer. Like that's your first responsibility is to be the point guard of the team. Dish the ball out to all 5 eligible receivers and make the correct reads and things of that nature. So I feel like as far as just being a dual threat, being labeled, all right, it's just basically a bonus being able to run. But at the end of the day, your main job is to dish the ball out and make sure you're getting the right reads and things.
What part of your game do you think would translate the easiest from college football to professional?
My approach and my mindset, as far as I feel like over my years, I did a great job as far as really understanding defenses and knowing game plans and things of that nature, as far as like what defenses like to do coming into a game. And that's going to be a big thing going into the NFL. We got a lot of great defensive coordinators in the game, obviously. So they're going to come out and scheme, but at the end of the day, it's still just football. So as long as you can catch those tendencies and knowing like, all right, we like this play versus this coverage, or we like this play versus this front, but we're going to have this on the back end. So that just kind of opened up the playbook a little bit more. Instead of sending you out there with just one play, we can send you out there with 2. So if we get this look, we good with the play. If not, we can change it. So as far as my mental part of the game and understanding like the tendency of defenses as far as like what they like to do in third down situation, red zone situation, or even what they like to come out on the P&10, first possession of the game or first down, what they like to do. So at that point, we can kind of orchestrate a game plan and know what players are going to work in our favor.
What type of offense do you think you would thrive in?
I don't know. I like to learn. I like to challenge myself. But as because I would be open to playing in any playbook, pro
But
style.
everybody
But
like
yeah,
shines the brightest in like a certain
I
system.
would say if anything's gonna be kind of this offense I love out of, like a spread type offense, being able to like RPOs, run checks, things like that. Yeah, so more like a spread, inside zone, outside zone, couple powers, duo, and then passing wise, just like a whole menu of it. So full field progressions, dual calling routes. So quick game, got slants and flats to the field, or in a go route or MOR in the a 4-step quick out to the boundary. So things of that nature. So I feel like coming from that, I feel like that'll kind of set me up like a seamless transition as far as coming from that to going into that.
Okay, I like it. So, an HBCU quarterback has not been drafted since 2006. Tarvaris Jackson, selected out of Alabama State University. Why do you think HBCU quarterbacks have been slept on for so long?
I think maybe a big part how to be with they always gonna come down to the level of play. They try to make that a big deciding factor as far as especially as like in quarterback play or just HBCU in general, the level of play. Thinking that uh the FBS or high FCS or things of that nature is just so far superior than HBCU football. But at the end of the day, I feel like the biggest difference is the trenches as the O line and the D line and like that front seven linebacker stand. But as far as skill position wise, we didn't have multiple HBCU guys, products that went from HBCU to the FBS level and made that transition easy. Like one of my friends, Dualthreat, he went from Alabama A&M to Bowling Green, or Tank Dell, who's in the league right now. He started off at Alabama A&M and went to Houston and now look where he at. So it's like, I feel like that's kind of the biggest thing. They kind of dictate the level of play and then just think everything's kind of more simplified or it's like more complex at FBS level than the FCS. But at the same time, we got offensive coordinator, defense coordinators that running complex offense and defensive schemes. So the mental part of it is not a big gap.
So when you talk about players that played at HBCUs, went on to bigger programs, FBS programs, Shador Sanders playing in the SWAC, and then he goes on, plays in the Pac-12. Numbers are the same, even better. Do you think him doing that at the quarterback position is going to help the next generation, like you coming up next? Like, dang, he did it on the SWAC level, he did it on the Pac-12 level.
Yeah, I feel like it should bring some type of attention to it because, like I said, it made me think it's so different. So if you moving up levels, you might see a decrease or something of that nature. But from here to go from Jackson State to Colorado and put up the same or even better numbers, it's like, all right, maybe it wasn't a fluke, and maybe he actually know what he's doing. And then just like people like me or guys that stay within the HBCU world for the whole 4 or 5 years and continue to improve year after year, and be able to still showcase that same level of talent at the HBCU level. I feel like those can really more of like just showing that you can progress over the years is going to help that the future HBCU athletes coming out once they finish college, entering the NFL, just showing that you can progress over your years, that you're not staying the same, that over the years that your offense got a little bit more complex or your defense got a little bit more complex or your understanding of the game really increased over those duration of you being in college.
You played college football during the transfer portal popping era, but you stayed at North Carolina Central the whole time. What made you buy into that system and believe that they could be the school that can get you to the pros?
I don't think I'll say it was easy. It was kind of hard as far as like deciding to stay. But I feel like I weighed my pros and my cons, and my pros was a lot heavier than my cons. First and foremost, I put a lot of trust in God. So if it's going to happen, if it's written in his plan, it's going to happen no matter where you at. So that was kind of just a deleting factor as far as me to stay. Then as far as what I went through at Central and what I've been through, how long I've been there and the people that I met, I think that played a big part. Me and Coach Oliver came in at the same time well, he obviously came a little bit before me, but started the first season in 2019. I've been with her ever since. My running back, Latrell Collier, he came in 2019. We've been there ever since. So those bonds that I built within the team and the coaching staff, it kind of just like over time, it became family, and it didn't feel right to just up and leave after I have a good season just to improve my stocks or things of that nature. I feel like I'm a hell of a player that I can get drafted from HBCU platform. So me leaving and going somewhere else to play at a bigger level, it really ain't going to be a deciding factor. It's really my hard work and my dedication to progress that I made over the years was really going to speak out, and the accolades and the things that I did at Central was going to speak out. So just weighing all those pros and cons, it was like, at the end of the day, if it's meant to be, if God got it written in my plan to make it to the NFL, get drafted, it's going to happen no matter what level I'm at.
Loyalty. We love to hear it. I think that's going to show, like, if I was a scout, I think that would show a lot to me, like a player that stayed at a school, not knocking anyone that transferred. Yeah. But, you know, when you get to the NFL level, that's a huge concern. It's requesting trades, free agencies, and I want to stay with a certain team. So I think showing loyalty on the college level speaks volumes when we're talking about decisions that a person could make on the pro level. So shout out to you there. At what point in your college career did you feel like you were legitimately becoming an NFL caliber player?
It's kind of hard. I really want to say, because honestly speaking, I really didn't look at it at that point within like really my whole career. I was really just trying to enjoy it, especially this last season. Knowing this was my last season in college, I was just trying to take it day by day, savor every moment, knowing it was going to come to an end. But if I had to say, I would say maybe after the 2021 season, as far as a couple of my friends, teammates coming out, leaving, getting to that transition as far as trying to go to the NFL and going through that whole pre-draft concept or process. And then seeing guys within the HBCU world get an opportunity once that draft came up to go to the NFL. And then just knowing that teams came by the facility and talked to our guys. That was before we won the championship. So it was just seeing that, and then seeing just around the whole HBCU world of guys getting opportunities to go to training camp, go to Ricky Mini camp, things of that nature. So once I kind of seen that and knew like the things that I was doing at Central as far as progressing each and every year, getting my numbers right, and then getting in those conversations as far as just not only in HBCU world, but top quarterback in FCS or top quarterback just in college general. Once those conversations started going on, it's kind of like, all right, I know what I can do. I already believed in my talent before then. So it's just like, I just got to continue to have the same approach that I had before all this came. It was basically just get my head down and work, focus on the main thing.
Did you grow up a fan of any NFL team?
Nah, I didn't really get into it. I was really, I was following Brady, right? Because right when at the time he was starting to pop as far as the Super Bowls and things that nature. So I was really just, if I was fascinated with one team, it had to be probably the Patriots, because Brady was over there just lining it up. And then also my brother, he was a Dolphins fan, and then I knew the Patriots and the Dolphins didn't like each other, so that helped me just kind of. So
you had to be like the anti.
Yeah, I had to be able to pick on him anytime he tried to talk. I'm like, ain't y'all just lost to the? Yeah.
Well, like, because you picked a bandwagon team, so you really didn't have like room to
It's
talk
not a bandwagon, but that was the first team. It's not like I said I was going for the Steelers or something, and then all right, I'm gonna switch over to the Patriots.
That is a bandwagon. You said I was a fan of Tom Brady, the GOAT, playing on a team. But you
acting like I was born like in the 1980s or something. Like I had time to realize. By time when I was growing up, that's when it was happening.
Okay, yes, but you picked a fan. You became a fan of the most winningest team in your era, and you gonna try to talk trash to your brother.
Yeah. You're right, because I always got asked the question like, how you start all the way down here in Florida, but you like the Patriots? So you're right. I can see where you're coming from.
So you grew up in Florida?
Yes, down south, Belgrade, Florida, to be exact.
No Buccaneers, no. What else they got? Jaguars, Dolphins. You had three options.
My brother went for the Dolphins. I had to be his biggest hater, and the Patriots at the time, that was a team.
Okay, so did you follow him to the Bucs? or you just
Now,
stuck
by
with it?
the time all that happened, I kind of just transitioned away from like having an NFL team. I was really just watching to
Focused on
watch.
you learning, watching to learn.
Yeah, so I was just really just giving it down to everybody games.
So, who do you like to watch right now?
What to my NFL team?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't have a favorite team now. Like I kind of once Brady left and they was talking about it, I kind of just let all the NFL politics alone. I was like, you know what? I'm going for whoever playing that day, whatever team I like the most. And I like to watch all the games for real, but if I gotta like pick, I like to watch. I like to watch the Eagles because they did a lot of things as far as offensive scheme because they did a lot of things that we did. So it was like, all right, I can easily like relate to that. So things the wheels running, they was running. So I can look at the game and know what's going on and knowing like, all right, what he's supposed to be looking at, why he did that. So that's why I kind of like if it was them like the Eagles or the Bills, the Bengals too though. We were running a lot of similar things. So it was like that's the reason I was kind of watching them.
You talking about what era of Eagles? Because I know you're not talking about last season, because there was nothing to learn from that.
Well, you got a company man like that. But man, he just trying to live his life. They trying to live their life. Why?
I know I want them to live good. That's why we had to make some changes. But I would just say I hope you wasn't studying nothing that happened
I'm gonna
last
say
season.
that look like an Eagle helmet back there.
Yeah, it is.
You go for the Eagles?
Yes. Why you think I was asking you about them camp visits and all that? I'm trying to get some intel.
All right, you can talk about it, man.
That's why I was like, dang, we couldn't get Michael Vick, we couldn't get Jalen, but we were building this quarterback.
Yeah, it makes sense now. It makes a lot of sense now.
Yes. So who's some guys that are next up at North Carolina Central?
You gonna get me in trouble because it's gonna take about 30 minutes to talk about all of
Nah, give me one. Okay, I'm gonna narrow it down. Next up in the quarterback room. I know it's hard because the transfer portal, we're gonna talk about somebody gonna be in the portal tomorrow. But who's somebody that's next up in the quarterback room?
Right now it's probably be Walker Harris, gunslinger. Like go, you don't do anything, you want to watch him, go last year Mississippi Valley State, watch that game. He played the whole game, watch what he did. I can't remember the stats specifically. I want to say around like 300 yards, 5 touchdowns. Yeah,
that's when you were load managing.
Huh?
That's when you were load managing.
Yeah, I was over there. I was helping him. I was coaching. I was being office coordinator that game. Yeah. But yeah, so I say definitely Walker. Walker's the reason I got so good because he was on my back so hard. Like he was, whenever I made a play, he made a play. Any day I was slacking or I made a bad read or something, he was out there doing his thing. So he always knowing that somebody is so good right behind me that kind of helped make sure and push me, even though like I was kind of just competitive within myself. When I make a bad play, I'm in my head like what I was doing. Instantly I make like, oh, what can I do better? Like, oh, I threw it here. I'm supposed to. All right, I see why I threw it there. Maybe next time I throw it here. But just like knowing like the guys that we had in that room, just like Walker, Quest, it's gonna be fun watching. I'm ready to see him let it loose. He been down. He been waiting. He been itching for it, and it's his time. So I'm excited for this season.
HBCU quarterback wise, obviously it was Davius and Musa. Everybody was talking about. Y'all are gone. Who do you think is next up, star power wise, barring any transfer portal news?
Right off the back, I gotta go. Like I said, I just talked about Walker. I seen him since his freshman year, and just the way he progressed. And each year he just got better. So if I got to put my money on anything, I'm gonna put it on him. Like I don't too much know the other quarterbacks right now around the league, or like the Miak or the SWAT, but I know Walker like the back of my hand. Now, if I know the back of my hand, I know him, and he's going. That's where my money at.
I like it. Well, that gives Central Eagles fans a lot to look forward to. I know they're going to be missing that Davius Richard era, but things change, rearrange. You have to turn the page and keep it moving. But I appreciate the time you sitting down, having a great conversation with us.
Nah, like I said earlier, I appreciate the opportunity, man. It was fun. I enjoyed doing interviews with you.
I appreciate it. Well, good luck in April. Do you have any plans for are you having a watch party? What's going on?
I haven't thought thought about it yet, but most likely I'm just go back down to Florida and be with my family. My family and my homeboys. So
a family party. I like it.
Yeah, little small little get together.
Right. I like it. I like it. Well, we're excited for you. We're excited, obviously, for the 2024 NFL Draft. We're going to be rooting for you. I am Symone Stanley. He is Davius Richard. This is HBCU Game Day. Thank you guys so much.